Aren't you about tired of listening to sports shows with all the woke bullshit? So are we. This is Patriot Sports Radio.
Patriot Sports Radio.
Fed up with the national talking heads and biases of mainstream sports media. If it's sports from the high school level to the pros, we're talking about it like the red-blooded Americans we are.
God bless America.
God bless America.
God bless America.
Let's do this. And now, here's Eric, Angela, John, Chris, and the coach.
Welcome back, my friends. If you're new, welcome in. Patriot Sports Radio. My name is Eric. I'm your host. All dudes tonight. Boys night. Angela's questionable with an upper body injury. She'll be back in an indeterminate time. John's here with the headband. He's looking downright dapper. Coach, you look concerned. Is all your sound right? Are you good down there?
You tell me.
Yep. Sounding good.
Testing 1, 2, sibilance.
We got all kinds of stuff to get to. We got sports. We got some giant dead animals. We should start with we got a Bigfoot sighting. A good one.
Near me.
Old yeah. In your neck of the woods, Shannon Parker and Stetson Tyler. Boy, Stetson Tyler, that's the most Denver name of all time. They were on the train travel in the narrow gauge from old Durango to Silverton. You know where that's at. And they were looking for elk when they recorded what looks to be a Sasquatch taking a shit. And only 3 or 4 people on this entire train saw it. That's the red flag for me. But it sure looked like a Sasquatch. I mean, who am I to say? Coach, what do you think? Was that a real Sasquatch? I mean, who's
100%.
out there in a suit?
100%. No doubt. I mean, we've been messing around with this for years. They have a season here in Oklahoma. I mean, there's an actual hunting season. You can get a tag for one. I don't know why it took the other 49 states this long to catch on.
Wow. Have you ever gotten your Bigfoot tag? I feel like as an Oklahoman, that's like a passage.
I feel like I should. I haven't. I don't. I keep waiting to see something like that while I'm out in the deer stand, but I haven't yet. But I'm pretty confident it's going to happen. It's not a matter of if; it's just when. And what will that encounter look like? I don't know. Maybe we, maybe it's violent. Maybe it's very friendly. Maybe we discuss some things that have been going on. I don't know.
Maybe there's some sort of common ground we could establish.
Yeah, I mean,
like a
I have the deer. I keep the top half. He keeps the bottom. I don't know. It could happen.
Do you shoot it for the proof?
I don't know if I do. Honestly, I feel like we're talking about the hide and seek world champion record holder here. Yeah. I mean, this is a dude. This is a creature that is, of epic proportions. I mean, people been talking about this for many, many moons, and that we're just now seeing a sighting, that's just caught wind publicly recently. I mean, these are going to keep happening. It's going to keep happening. I don't know how long a creature like that lives. 150, 200 years. I don't know.
Maybe
it's possible.
This is a recent development in the Sooner State. During 2021 Oklahoma legislative session, Humphrey filed a shell bill to create a Bigfoot hunting season.
Yeah.
Under House Bill 1648.
Long overdue.
And you got a $3 million bounty here? Well, I'd shoot him for that.
Yeah. Honestly, and what better? When you're living in the land of milk and honey, that's what you want your legislators to do. I mean, that's what they have time to do. It is
nice living in a country with no real problems.
I can't think of anything more legislative than something like that. Introducing a bill like that obviously makes sense. I mean,
no better use of our time.
This is the reason why foreign countries look at us and go, they're just fat and stupid and just spoiled.
Rednecks.
Yep. Let's make a season over something mythical and hunt it.
Yeah.
Yes. Only in this state.
Gosh.
Speaking of, what do you got, John? You got Bigfoot stuff before we move on?
No, but
But let's not gloss over the fact that you just said, let's make a season for something that doesn't exist and let's fucking hunt it. And let's also give the government money so they will give us a piece of fucking paper that says we can hunt the thing that doesn't fucking exist. Yeah, we are consumers in America. Way too much money in our pocket.
That is
to
very
the Packers
American when you
fans
break it
who
down
buy
like that.
who buy shares in a company that's never going to pay them any money.
Let me
Talking
tell you
about
something.
worthless pieces of paper.
Hey, America, if you want to go Sasquatch hunting, free men don't need permission. You just go sit your ass in a tree and you just wait for that son of a bitch.
Yeah.
I will say, whenever it comes to stuff like this, I think if I came across aliens or Bigfoot or even a celebrity sighting, I think I would just not want a photo or anything. I think I just want to keep that to myself, mainly because there's no quicker way to be labeled an absolute lunatic than say you saw an alien. I mean, you've seen the documentaries on Netflix, like Bob Lazar, the guy who's been on Joe Rogan, has definitive proof of the existence of what aliens have and can describe the spacecraft and can literally diagram how this crazy thing operates. And then lo and behold, next thing you know, his business is raided for no reason. So
Yeah.
I think for my own safety, I would keep it a secret.
Well, let's not forget about Aaron Rodgers. You remember Aaron Rodgers went ahead and came on out about a month ago with his sighting.
Yeah.
I mean, it's impressive. You're right.
And I'll be honest, the guy is coming back from a horrific Achilles injury a little suspiciously soon. He's already throwing, and I got questions, man.
I mean, as you should.
There's beams involved there. Speaking of mythical things, Caleb Williams says the team that drafts him better be ready to give him some ownership in the franchise.
Hell no.
The intern wants to own the company.
Yeah.
So I got a couple of things on this directly for John today because I was thinking a lot about you, John, today, as I should on a Friday. So here's the thing. I came up with this little nugget for you today. So the Bears, first off, giving Caleb Williams part ownership in an organization or a franchise is the most Bears thing I've ever heard. But on another note, I was actually thinking about the Bears situation today, and I got to thinking it's really not terrible. And here's how. As I was kind of perusing through the statistics there. Correct me if I'm wrong here. Did they not? They passed on Stroud, right? They passed on Stroud, and did Carolina not bump up to get Stroud? Isn't that how that went? And so they ended up with a first round pick from Carolina. Is that right? Yep. So they tanked this year. Just hear me out. They tanked this year and end up with the Williams pick. It's highly possible they could end up with Williams and the Harrison Jr. kid.
Right.
And you replace him with Lincoln Riley, and you've got a triangle, a trifecta there to start off next season and an unrecognizable organization from this season. I mean, as I was thinking about that today, I thought, wow. I mean, as we're woe is me if you're a Bears fan, but maybe not. Maybe not.
So the first two of those three is a well-worn path on Chicago radio the last couple of weeks. The Lincoln Riley would be a nice addition. The problem is there's a lot of crappy teams. So getting 1 and 2 is actually going to be quite the dogfight.
Being the crappiest of the crappy teams is bad.
And also, I don't think I think there is a rule in the NFL that says you cannot give ownership to a player. I think they all colluded on this, meaning the owners, and said we are not doing that. And sorry for my voice. I had oral surgery this week, so bear with me. So I think I think I heard on Cowherd basically that's not even possible, and that was made up. So I would hope so because good grief, I mean, I Caleb Williams, if he's demanding, even if it's a percent, 0.5% of the Bears ownership, I tell him to pound sand. I mean, maybe after you retire and you've won 3 Super Bowls, we'll give you a cut.
Yeah.
But for Pete's sake, I mean, you don't think Tom Brady was trying that with Miami? You don't think Aaron Rodgers was trying that with the Jets?
Yeah.
You can't come in as a rookie and say, I mean, you can demand it, but nobody's going to give it to you.
Well,
How much
would
would you have to give Lincoln Riley to get out of there?
Well,
Or
I
how
just,
much would you
I
have to
just
give
A coach is
school?
different.
I just want to play devil's advocate here for a second, though.
Hey, why don't
All
you
right.
stop bringing more penny loafers into this fucking league, coach? Fucking another pretty boy. That's what we need.
Hey, listen. So you're the Jerry Maguire of the Caleb Williams world, right there. Okay, you're sitting across from this guy, and you're talking to him, and you go, what is the ceiling on this? You know he's going to be one. You know that you're going to get all that one entails, and so I mean, I gotta say, the satchel on somebody to say, listen, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to fire this shot across the bow and see what happens. What's everybody wanting right now? What's Mahomes? What's he chattering about right now? Well, Mahomes is chattering about getting a piece of the pie, a piece of ownership. He just came out this week and said, he wants to be some sort of ownership in the league. My thoughts are that, as crazy as it sounds, there's a little bit of mad genius in the fact of somebody fired that shot across the bow just to see how it would go. Because if you do that, I mean, if you do that and you land that, and on the other side of the table you go, hey, if we get 0.5%, you're the first guy to do it. You're the dude. Yeah. I mean, is it that crazy to fire that pie in the sky thinking across? I don't think so in today's economy.
No.
I mean, all they could say is that's crazy. That's ridiculous. We said that about Mahomes' contract at one time too. We said it about Brady's contract. Well, I mean, about Rodgers' contract. I mean, every time that something like this happens, everybody goes, that's preposterous. I don't know. Now, it does seem a little bit far-fetched, but I applaud the huevos rancheros on some dude to go, you know what, let's go ahead and fire this across and see what happens. I just think that's a very coach thing to do. I'm just saying.
Just give me the whole fucking thing.
Yeah. I just want the whole fucking deal.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you right now, these owners are going to fight back against this because I think
absolutely they are.
John, you're already right. I am sure they have already figured this out. The first time LeBron James started to talk about it, I'm sure they were like, meeting.
Well, if I were to play the role of an owner, I would say, do you know how long it took me to get a bite at the apple? I had to come to the table with billions. Yeah. You want to come to the table empty-handed, pockets out, and say, pay me? Yeah. No,
you know how many
that's not how it works.
Snot-nosed slave labor fucking children I had to fucking slap around the face to get here and stand on their shoulders?
Listen, we're about the highest quality sports podcast on the internet, so we talk about these things in a fashion like we exhaust all possibilities here. We leave no stone unturned at PSR. So don't get your underwear in a wad out there hearing it. I'm just saying we want to give both sides of the argument here. John is 100% right, but I don't mind arguing the wrong side for the sake of argument. And never will I.
But and I would totally be for that if that was the structure of it. There's nobody that likes to stick it to the man more than me. However, I think a lot of owners are still pissed off at Deshaun Watson's guaranteed contract. I think we already know Cincy's owner is pretty pissed off at Joe Burrow's contract.
Oh, you're 100% right.
Let's take a quick little ride on my golf cart here in the middle of practice.
Yeah.
So now imagine Imagine you're giving points to the guy who is throwing interception after interception, and you're tied to that guy indefinitely. He's taking money from your kids. I just don't think that flies. But, I could see why you would ask. And if you think you are God's gift to football, of course you're going to ask that.
Yeah.
No.
You're the number one guy. Pie in the sky thinking says, let's see what happens. We'll say no. All I can say is no. John, you're 1,000,000% right on this. The owners will never allow this to happen. And I get it, but love the audacity.
Yeah. Thinking outside the box. I remember when was it Rogers that got paid in crypto?
Yeah.
No, that was
actually the kid from OSU, Russell Okung.
There's another guy. Why am I blanking? Quarterback Clemson got paid his, I think, signing bonus. Trevor Lawrence got paid his signing bonus, I think, in crypto, and that was a bad move.
Well, and when it came out, the day it came out, every financial guru in the world said that is the most genius thing ever. They did, and it was that way for about a solid 9 months until you rode that gravy train into the ground. And it went belly up. But if you bought a minute, Bitcoin, it was good.
Coach, if you bought Bitcoin in 2010, okay?
Yep.
You sold that Bitcoin in 2019. Let's say you spent $1,000 on Bitcoin in 2010. You are a multi-millionaire.
Yeah, I believe it.
Hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars. So if you're a kid that comes out, Sam Bradford in 2010 takes his contract, $60 million. He gets 60 million Bitcoins, and now those Bitcoins are worth about $30,000 a piece. At one time, they were like 80,000 a piece. You fucking would have scored. So they were taking a shot. I like the NFL. I like the ownership. I mean, you get a piece of an NFL franchise, and that's not Bitcoin.
Yeah. No, that's. But that's why people like Brady. That's why people like Mahomes are clamoring about it right now, because that's pie in the sky thinking. That's the brass ring right now. I
listen to a lot of fucking financial podcasts, and every one of them are like it's a sports franchise. That's where it's at. That's the safest fucking bet.
Why do you think Saudi Arabia is investing so much in our sports?
Yeah.
Well, let me tell you, they can't own an NFL team either.
Well, and
you have to be American.
I
will tell you, I sat on the front row and watched one right here in the city, Oklahoma City. There's no better example. You want to talk about buying low and getting in on something that was a meteoric rise to stardom. You've got, they gave pennies on the dollar when they moved that from Seattle to here. Literally, we're talking crackers and cheese. And
basically, you bought Kevin Durant.
That they literally the valuation on that franchise has, it is ridiculously skyrocketed. And we're talking about a small market team here in Oklahoma City. It's pretty impressive. It's pretty impressive. You're right. You're 100% right. Sports franchises, because it's the one thing. It's the thing that everybody doesn't turn off outside of Miller Genuine Draft.
Yeah. And to that point, we just had Roger Goodell sign an extension. Do you know how much money he will have made from 2006 through the end of his career? If he goes through 2027, take a wild guess. How much he will have made?
I'd say billion with a B.
No, 300 million.
300 million.
300 mil?
Which I'm doing the math, and he's getting 50 million a year. Okay, yeah, all right. Gosh, it's nuts.
That is nuts.
But my point in saying that is the reason these NFL teams are as valuable as they are is because that dude is squeezing blood from a turnip when it comes to money. Do you want Red Zone? Do you want ESP or NFL Plus? It's all of these nickel dime things. Like, even if you want a bar, you have to pay the licensing to even play the audio of an NFL game. He is the mastermind behind all that.
We went through that at the studio, John. to get all those TVs, when you saw those, they had to pay. Their cable bill is different than our cable bill.
Yeah. Yeah, they're paying licensing fees.
Yep.
I'll
And
tell
that's
you that.
that's why you invest in a NFL team.
Yep. Know where it's going but up. We'll save the Trevor Bauer thing for when the girl is here. We need the full scope for that. The Lions are a good team now. They've beaten the Chiefs. They've won their last 4 games by 14 or more points. They're winning on the road. They're winning with their best players out. Like Dan Campbell has constructed a 5-1 football team that's now being talked about as a potential Super Bowl team.
And
That's it.
yet somehow
up, Pa?
they're the
I didn't-
underdog at the Ravens.
I forgot to say what's up, Dad. Trump 2024.
His vote is locked
What's
up.
up, listener from Guthrie?
We got to talk about Cooper going to Philadelphia later too.
What?
Yeah, I
What
guess
he said?
he says he's going to the game. Is that in Philly or is it in?
I think it's in
No,
Arizona.
I think what he's saying is he wants to invade our show
Oh,
and talk about it.
oh, he could do that.
Do you see the comments?
America's
Who we
team
talking about?
invading Philly. It feels like Miami's going to Philadelphia.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Miami and Philly. And I think he's going to come on and talk some shit because they're fucking really good. What's up,
They
Mom?
are pretty good.
Sorry, that is Mom.
Well,
Hey, Guthrie's got a big game tonight.
Uh-oh,
good to
is that
know
on
Mom is
YouTube?
voting.
Guthrie, yeah, it is on
Is that
YouTube.
Carl Albert?
Yeah,
Who they
Albert, both of them undefeated. Albert's got about 5 or 6 D1 prospects. So, but
wow.
Guthrie hadn't allowed a touchdown all year, so we'll
Not
see.
one touchdown the
Really?
entire year. We're
Yeah.
almost in the middle of. We are in the middle of October. Not a
I mean, they're
touchdown yet.
6-0. They played 6 teams. They've played, I think 4 of them are ranked. So they're pretty good.
Not one all season long. That's crazy. Yeah,
Well,
it's
Mom's-
Sunday Night
Mom
Football
tuned
in
in.
Philadelphia.
Yeah, it's on YouTube. Should be a good one.
We're gonna watch. I'm gonna watch it after this.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, I think Commission's
Yeah.
going to Sunday Night Football. I think that's the deal.
Wow.
Is it
Nice. Gonna get out the dust off the old Don Shula starter jacket and head on down, huh?
Really?
Yeah.
He said, "How about this weekend Super Bowl preview with America's team?"
I didn't know
Invading
Philly.
Philly
I didn't
with
know
the
they
commissioner.
coined Philly that phrase, but that's cool.
No, he's
yeah.
talking about Miami.
Oh, I know what he's talking about.
He wants
I'm aware.
He wants to do an invasion on the show.
I
Well,
bet he
I-
does.
I took Philly minus 2.5 on that one.
Let me tell you
It's
what
at
I took.
Philly.
The Buffalo freaking Bills. And that didn't turn out too good for Miami.
No. So now that we're talking about it, I spent some time thinking about this one, and Philadelphia right now is rocking as a city. So you're going to take Miami up to Philadelphia. You're going to see about as angry of a crowd as you're going to see unless this was to beat Dallas to go into the playoffs. So I don't see Philly having a letdown.
Oh, you're getting an angry Philly off a loss.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Philly and
I
San
had to take
Francisco,
Philly.
you don't want to play them right now.
Best thing could have happened to Miami is if Philly would have just cruised last week because, now I think it's going to be a little different. But, hey, listen, I'll be the first to say Miami is a good football team. They are. There's no argument here. They're doing some good things down there. They got it going on.
But they are they're the 5th team in terms of Vegas odds to win the Super Bowl?
Philly?
Dolphins.
I think they're the 4th?
No, they're 5.
Last I saw, they were
when I
5.
looked.
Let's see. I actually have that. Let's see. Super Bowl odds: San Francisco, KC, Philly, Miami. 9-1.
Speaking
Okay,
of
so
Philly,
4th.
the dadgum Phillies just dropped one.
Did they?
Yep.
Dang. So they're on the brink.
Yep.
The Dolphins are averaging
Another
498
2 to 1.
yards of offense per game, first in the league. The Eagles are second with 395. The Dolphins are averaging another 100 yards more than everybody else.
Skewed numbers. I mean, how many? They had 800 yards against the Broncos.
Yeah, that Broncos game really skews things.
You know, when I listen to a couple smart people on the radio, people that over the years you kind of learn, yeah, they're usually right. And all of them are very hesitant on Miami because they're built to crash and burn.
Yeah, it's not a winter team.
I mean, I honestly think that's been graveled and paved on this show multiple times since about July. I think we've said that early and often, and and my hat's off to the young man who's a Dolphins fan, the only one that I've ever met, and he says that they're going to be great, and I hope that they continue their greatness. I mean, I just feel like that, just like John said, and we've documented, talked about it. They are built to crash, and things are riding high right now. But I mean, there's a lot of teams that really look great in the month of October. I mean, let's not get carried away.
They're a little bit reminiscent of the 2021 Cardinals, where they start off 8-1. So, their coach looks like a genius, but I mean, he's playing with video game players. Let's see when the D coordinators start looking at the tape for this year, start catching up with them. Hey, they are atop the AFC favorites right now, are up there, and they deserve to. Just something when you watch them, is this sustainable? So they beat up on a lot of people, but they go to Buffalo and get waxed. So
well, and let's honestly, I mean, let's go ahead and clarify. I think that was said in the first conversation too, is in order to be the greatest team in the AFC, you've got to win what's called a division, and that seems to be like the first thing that you check off a box. And I don't really know that that's just a given right now, because as I'm looking at the records, I think you got a little work there to do.
Yep.
Current MVP odds: Tua is the favorite, plus 350. Then Mahomes plus 450. Josh Allen 7-1. Hurts plus 750. Brock Purdy 11-1. And then Christian McCaffrey. This is a year where a running back could win it, because none of the quarterbacks are really lighting it up. I mean, Tua, I guess. But, I mean, Josh Allen has had some really bad games. Mahomes has been subpar by his standards. Jalen Hurts, too. Brock Purdy, I mean, he's a 7th-round pick. I suppose he's surprising. But there might be a dark horse MVP candidate in there somewhere. I'm going to have to dig further into this. I don't love any of our favorites here. Tua's going to hit his head eventually, right? We shouldn't put that evil on him.
Yeah, don't put that evil on him. Yeah, we'll see.
He's definitely
Coach
called one blitz away.
Coach called it with McCaffrey. Overuse. One play too many.
Yep.
How the old oblique is hurt. It's only week 7.
I don't imagine that'll go away quickly. And is he just going to accumulate nagging injuries? He might play in week 2. Is he supposed to play this week? I didn't see, but
I don't know.
I'm sure a tough guy like him will be back in sooner than he should be, and you'll be carrying injuries for the rest of the season.
Yep. He was on pace to touch the ball over 400 times. That's just too many, because those all end in being tackled, almost all of them.
Well, and the weather's not getting warmer the rest of the way. Let's just go ahead and remember, the one thing that carries over into December and January is defense and running the football. I mean, which, I get it. Miami has found them the little engine that could down there, and good for them. And they play a little defense too. So I will say that is interesting. But everywhere that they're going to go is going to be cooler than where they play. So it's going to be interesting. I watched Tyreek last week. How many times did he come up lame on routes and stuff last week? Still produced, don't get me wrong. And I will be the first to admit on that. He's been a lot more durable than I ever thought he would be, because we've avoided the club incidents. We've avoided any kind of headlines in the media where we're smacking somebody up on the street corner or something. All of those things he's managed to avoid. So my hat's off to him. It's interesting. It'll be interesting to see how it comes down the pike, because as you just kind of peruse the AFC here, we can Steelers, garbage, Bengals, hot garbage since the season started, but you got to think that they're going to put it together eventually. I don't know if Burrow is really, really hurt or what's going on there with him, because it seems like it reminds me of the scene in Gladiator where he stabs him in the lung and then they patch him up and trot him out there. That's what's going on there. And then we've got the Browns, who their defense keeps them in every game, but they're the Browns. And then you have Watson, who's finding creative ways not to play, which I think is very humorous for a guy that literally signed a gajillion-dollar contract after getting a public tug and a rub. And then you've got your Ravens, who are pretty much your classic underachievers in the AFC. They just kind of seem to dwell around the 8 to 10 win mark, and no, they don't ever want to become contenders. As you got the Texans, who are the little engine. Talk about the little engine that could. The Texans are just winning games, and they are refusing to become the Bears of the league. They're just saying, we're not going to be that. So when you come to us, it's going to be a fight, and we may win one or two of those, and they've managed to do that. Colts, trash. The Titans, what in the world is going on with the Titans? You guys caught a little bit of my frustration via text last week, but they make me so angry. And I love Vrabel. Yeah. I love Vrabel. I love his mindset. I love how he does things. But gosh, they are fantasy just nutcrackers. That's what they are.
Yeah.
Well, how do you not give it? We have a well-worn path.
8 times.
Not giving it to the bell cow at the goal line. I don't know.
8 times. 8 times inside the 10-yard line. You don't give him one carry. I couldn't believe it. Don't even put him in the game. I don't know.
12 carries in that game. 8 yards a carry.
As we run around the league, you got the Jags, Jets, Bills, Pats. I mean, Jags, Jets, and Bills are really right there in the middle, kind of fighting it out. You got obviously the Dolphins we talked about. The Pats are terrible. Chiefs, Chargers. The Chargers are your classic your classic State Fair lemonade. Looks great on the outside, and then when you taste it, you realize you spent too much money on it and it's really just crap. And then you've got the Broncos, terrible. We know what they are. The Raiders, the same. Mm-hmm. I mean, you look at the AFC there, it's really anybody's game to have. I mean, and so, yeah, why I can see why the Miami fans are really fired up.
Yeah, mm-hmm. It's an anybody's game situation. Overall, the football not as good. Warren Sharp put out some interesting numbers.
I saw this, yeah.
The average points are down. Weeks 1 through 6, the average points in a game are 43.4 down. It was 50.8 in 2020. Passing touchdowns are down 25%. The average margin of victory is now 12 points. Last year it was 9. So the games are a little more boring. Our 20-plus yard play rate is 5.6%, lowest since they changed the rules in 2010 for the offense. And then these ineligible man downfield penalties, they got to stop throwing these. 24 already. This is clearly a point of emphasis that they're just ruining the game with guys like a foot too far down the field and we're taking a 30-yard gain away. It's absolute bullshit. What's True Media? Oh, that's where that's who Warren Sharp works for. Oh, sack rate. That's what this is. Sack rate on dropbacks, 7.2%. Highest since 2000. I knew it because I've been winning a lot of prop bets on sacks. It definitely anecdotally seemed like they're up. There's a lot of guys getting 2. Like the elite guys are getting 2 in a game rather than 1. And it's just
what's the holding penalty? Did they outline that? Is that down and that's why sacks are up?
Jeff Goldblum.
Heavy says
Defensive
it.
offsides.
Heavy, not to sidetrack you here while you're looking that up. Heavy says they're stacking money over there.
Yeah.
Heavy, what you got on this Rice and Tulsa deal going on right here? 14-3, 14-3. Tulsa, both teams 3-3. Tulsa playing some pretty solid defense since I turned it on in the second quarter. It's still at 4.5. I've been trying to get it to go way up. Let's get you on that since you're stacking money. Why don't you slide me a hot tip right there? All right, back to the conversation.
Rice games are always overs, aren't they?
Rice games are always over, and that's what I was going to combo it with, but it just went up to 4.5. I mean, it's 14-3. Tulsa's driving right here. Oh, Tulsa just scored, so 14-10. They're at home. 1:14 left in the second, so it's at 24 right now. The over and under going to be. Oh, they're
46.
changing again.
Well, back
Sorry,
to what
go
Eric
ahead.
is saying.
Go ahead. Sorry, I got sidetracked.
I think I've been kind of thinking it for about 3 weeks. It's like you turn on and every window has a 27-3 game. And it's just, how does this happen? And the bad quarterbacks are god awful, and the good quarterbacks are solid. And I heard somebody talk about that, but basically you're going to see an adjustment because they're going to start wanting to tighten these games up because the average actual spread is much greater than it should be. So you're going to see a big change, and those sack numbers, I'm sure, are going to go down. I'm sure the average plays above 20 yards are going to go up. They know how to right the ship. They know how to put their thumb on the scale and make things entertaining. If there anybody knows how to do it, it's the NFL.
Yeah, I think one of these weeks, pretty soon, it's going to be all over. It's going to be a bunch of 24, 28 games. So we're getting a lot of boring shit. And the public is winning a lot of bets. They don't like that either.
No.
Well,
no.
I can tell you last week I was really shocked at some of the outcomes. I mean, you're
yeah.
It was
The
pretty interesting.
The Browns beat the 49ers. The Jets beat the Eagles. It was like opposite day.
Yeah.
It was a big win for the AFC with the Browns beating the Niners and the Jets beating the Eagles. But I think that's all fool's gold in reality. Now, the Jets are a scrappy team, and there's something Saleh's doing in that locker room that's really riling these guys up. Or maybe it's the hint that Aaron Rodgers might be back in December, as is currently speculated. Now, could you imagine a greater storyline for the NFL come December if Aaron Rodgers trots his mushroom-loving ass out and somehow he's healed after another darkness retreat? And then we'll be talking about voodoo. It's so
they're
crazy.
8-6. He comes in and wins the last 3 to put them into the playoffs, and then
could happen.
Could happen. Game once you're in, that would be wild.
Heavy says San Francisco and Seattle gonna roll this week, and Week 7 slates look ugly.
I got the Niners and the Seahawks in a little money line parlay.
Heavy,
so I'd like to hear that.
Heavy making Sunday picks on a Friday. That's a little bit
he
impressive.
makes Tuesday picks.
Wow.
He picks on Tuesday for Sunday.
Wow.
I pick on Tuesdays.
Chargers +6. Those games always end in a 3-point diversification deficit. When Herbert plays KC, they're tight games. He's won twice in Kansas City, so I like getting 6 points there.
I looked at the slate this weekend, and I did not feel comfortable with any spread because we've seen so many different versions of these teams. I just kept going down the line and didn't have a strong gut feel on almost anything. A lot of money line this week.
Bills minus 8.5 against the Patriots. They should do that. 8.5 is always scary. Seattle's laying 8 against Arizona.
That's one I took the spread on. Yeah.
Packers are favorite. The Broncos suck when the Packers are a 1.5 point favorite in Denver. This is the Luke Musgrave game. This is the time.
It's about to be 14-0 in the Carl Albert game.
What is?
Guthrie. It's about to be 14-0 Guthrie.
Hey man, I will tell you what, their defense is for real. They play defense. Nice.
I got it up right
Go
now.
Big Blue.
Go Big Blue. Alma mater, baby.
I'm right. So as I'm perusing here, we go
14-0.
Lions, Ravens, Washington, Commanders, Giants. Blah.
Did not want to bet that game.
Ugh. Falcons.
There's going to be a lot of sacks in the Redskins Giants game. Those are two quarterbacks who just love.
Wait, who's Houston playing in Week 8? Heavy.
That's what I was trying to find. I was trying to peruse through here and find Houston's the 4-star Scud Your Books lock of the week that Heavy's throwing out.
Is that Colts?
Houston is at Carolina.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say who are they favored against?
Heavy says take a second mortgage out on the farm and bet it all because we're scudding the books with the 5-star lock.
Yeah.
I'm telling you what, between the Jets and Houston, that's the NFL you like to watch, not some piece of shit offense, rinky-dink defense, what's going on in Denver. You like to see guys going out there and slinging it. So you got to love what CJ Stroud's doing. And even the MILF Hunter himself and the Jets, he's not afraid to go out there and throw some interceptions. And it doesn't look good. It's not something you want to sit and watch 4 quarters of, but you'll watch the final couple drives.
Yeah. Well, Blake,
I'm still not seeing it. Who's Houston got?
CJ Stroud.
Carolina.
Oh, okay. All right.
Ooh, Stroud versus
Bryce.
Quarterback. I'm just a widow guy. What are you doing drafting the tiny guy over the 6'4" prototypical quarterback? What the test scores?
Yep.
We're picking kickball teams. You put Bryce Young and CJ Stroud next to each other. Nobody's picking Bryce Young for the kickball team. I don't understand it.
Shout out to the Chad and the Guthrie football team. It's like a class of 95 reunion.
Yeah.
5 reunion.
Wow.
19.
You got all the stars are in here.
Man, Jacksonville's already up 7-0. What's happening to your Saints, Coach?
Yeah, I thought when Kamara came back, this was going to be the deal.
You know,
Why did they get rid of a good kicker for a shitty kicker?
I don't know, man. I don't know what they did down there. I kind of thought things were going their way. I really thought they had things going their way, and I thought kind of Carr was rolling there about week 3, week 4, and then all of a sudden, I don't know if you remember, he took that hit and he was out, and then when he came back, it's never been the same. It's not the same mojo because they got Kamara back and then he was back, and I thought, okay, now they're really going to roll, but they're not. Something's not right, and I haven't watched a ton of them, so.
Ooh, really smash that thing, huh?
You got to smash one every once in a while. Make sure you're alive. You know how it goes.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's good character building pain.
That's usually at 6 o'clock in the morning. Oh, you wake up.
Now we're up. Oh yeah, you smash a fingernail, you get that shooting pain all the way up your arm.
Oh, all the way up in here. You're like,
yeah, that's. Yep. My old man calls that character building pain.
Yeah. That's what
Rice just scored again.
See, overs in the Rice game.
That's 20. It's at 30 points in the first quarter. It's at 58.5. I'm going with the over. I'm going with the over.
Are you trying to live bet this shit, Coach?
Yes, I am. I'm trying to live bet. I'm live betting Tulsa Golden Hurricane football right now on a Thursday.
Hey, can we get a therapist in here? Heavy, you got a therapist we can bring in for Coach?
I'm just telling you right now. Therapy to help me hold my money. Want to give me some counseling for being rad?
Oh, this defense is no bullshit.
Do what?
This Guthrie defense is no bullshit.
No, they will hit you.
I don't know that they'll get a first down this game.
Well, now listen to me. Listen. Listen, Linda, let's just let's back
We're
off
getting
the
closer
throttle.
to
What
hot-
quarter is it? Second quarter?
We're getting close to halftime here. Coach.
Okay.
Plenty of
Well,
time.
we get to halftime 14-0, then we'll see
Well,
where we're at.
They've got negative 2 yards on offense, bro.
It's okay. It's okay. Hey, they play 4
That's
quarters,
not
my
okay.
man.
I'm gonna tell you, that's not okay.
I'm going to tell
If
you
you're Carl
exactly what I
Lambert,
would say in the
that's
locker
not
room
okay.
right now, and that's there's 4 quarters in this dadgum game. You don't be taking your pads off and texting your girlfriend just yet. Let's put the
And you know
anointing
what?
oils away.
Okay, so let me put my red hat on. What the? You guys are getting. It's over. It's over. Why are we even gonna go back out there? These guys are fucking plowing our ass.
Pointless.
Sounds like the late
This
great
is
coach, your
ugly.
fat little girlfriends. Too busy
God,
worrying about your fat little
It
girlfriend.
was awesome.
And
That guy.
Is Carl Albert the deal in 5A? No,
They are
not. Look at
the
these guys.
pinnacle right
Well,
now.
they're
sir.
having an off night, brother.
I mean, let's not go throw them all out. I mean, they're not. It's a little bit of both. That defense can play.
Boy, that defense is fucking good.
And it's been the best kept secret of this year because nobody's talking about them, and they've quietly just been taking people to the woodshed. I mean, you don't allow a touchdown all year, and they haven't allowed one against the number 1 5A team in the first half. They can
first down. They haven't
play.
allowed a yard, coach. They're
Yep.
negative yardage.
Well, I can tell you that there was a team 2 weeks
I
ago
think
that rolled
the
into
number
town.
1 team in 5A is the Blue Jays. If I'm looking at this correctly.
That is the number 1 team. Carl Albert is number 1.
Oh, they are.
And I think in what they call the power rankings, they're in the top 2 or 3 too.
Oh man, if we could bet on high school football, none of us would have day jobs.
No.
Coach would just give us all the winners.
We'd have a staff, and we could just.
What makes you think
I
coach
bet-
doesn't have a book?
If we could bet high school football, I bet Guthrie's just now coming out of the plus money. They're just now because Guthrie. They're like, who? What? No.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'd be making money off. Look at them just march. They're just marching down on them.
Yeah.
Like this defense doesn't exist.
Yeah. All right. Let me see. I got to make sure my daughter's not in jail here.
Yeah.
Oh.
That's critical.
Yeah, you got to answer those.
Eric, you got any other topics for this evening?
I got get ready to hear that the Packers were in the conversation for Derrick Henry because the Titans are looking to trade Derrick Henry. The Packers are surely going to call and give him a shit offer that they'll never accept, and then another team will get the player.
Sorry.
So that's cool. Other players possibly on the trade block. We got Broncos are possibly fire sailing this thing. They might trade safety Kareem Jackson, Cortland Sutton, Jerry Jeudy.
Think we'll get Russell Wilson?
They already cut Randy Gregory.
The Russell Wilson situation is bad for them.
Yes, it is. That is a handcuff.
Contractual.
That is a ball and chain. That is
because they can cut him, but it's going to cost them.
Yeah.
Eric, what did they give him guaranteed money?
I think a couple $100 million of it was guaranteed.
Oh,
today on Sports Talk Radio. Today on Sports Talk Radio
in a second. Sorry.
Today in Sports Talk Radio, they were talking about what's the worst contract, Russell Wilson or Mike Gundy. Gundy's got a $25 million buyout and a 5-year extension that just rolled over. Some people call that terrible contract. I call it
that contract
sports agent genius.
You get a lot of visors for that.
Oh
yeah.
Back when that was written, when that contract was written, Boone Pickens was still alive, and nobody knew the money would run out.
Boone Pickens. Oh
he was the one that authored that one. He said that is exactly what we're going to do here at Oklahoma State.
Yeah, he was the funder of that team.
That'll buy a lot of mullets.
The Russell deal gets you coming and going. I mean, what was it? 2 first-round picks and a second-round pick,
just for the coach.
Well, what the coach was he 1-1, first and second? I mean, you've invested your future in something that ain't working. And then you throw in Russell Wilson's $245 million or whatever it is contract. Gosh, I mean, you are married to that unless you want biblical losses.
Hey, John, when you're rolling around the lovely Mile High State, what do you hear? Is there some real friction between him and Peyton? Peyton?
Yeah. I mean, they're two opposites.
No, is that what it is?
Well, Russell Wilson is a little bit all about his brand and is not very, I would say, passive aggressive. He's not a big in your face type leader. And then the opposite of that is Sean Payton. Sean Payton doesn't give a shit about your brand, and all he wants to do is get up your ass and make you play.
Win football games.
And in the whole time he's sucking as a coach, he is getting a little mouthy with the press. Press is getting a little bit tired of it. Has been. That's
Has his wife jumped in yet?
No.
Good.
But
I feel like she could be a firecracker, bro.
Yeah.
Nah. She's pregnant. You talking about Sierra?
Oh, yeah.
She got other business right now.
Yeah, 100 million of it, 200 million of it.
So people are not happy in Denver. And then, with the Buffs, just choking away a 29-point lead. You want to talk about distracted stars in Colorado. Wow.
Yeah. And I don't think it's going to play well, these two. The kissing the babies and the X's and O's. Those two don't. Marshawn Lynch was talking about Russell Wilson on I think he was talking on Shannon Sharp's podcast. He said he doesn't have his phone number. He doesn't really him and Pete Carroll, he really, to put it in his words, did fuck with him. He's just a quarterback to me, is what he said about Russ. And he said after he threw that pick in the Super Bowl, it's like, I go over the sideline and Russ is on some we'll get him next time shit.
Oh, that's not gonna work.
He's like, I just walked up to Pete Carroll and I laughed right in his face.
Fire it, bro. And
I walked into the locker room. He didn't even stick around on the sideline to watch them lose that game. He went right to the locker room. Odds are coming out on Devontae Adams. I think the Bills are the favorite to get Devontae Adams if he's traded at 4-1. The Packers are 7-1. He is 6 foot losing.
I'm sure that'll make Stephon Diggs happier.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that would be a problem.
So the problem with Devontae Adams right now complaining about not getting the ball is it's the most he's gotten the ball in his entire career.
Yeah.
What do you want, man? I mean, you just saying your offense is broken? I mean,
saying all 35 times we should throw to you?
Yeah, right.
Yeah. That would be fun. Heavy Step says, I wish Russ and Jameis were on the same team.
Gosh, you want to talk about a weird quarterback room.
Yeah.
A lot of crab legs and God.
Yeah. Jameis is a likable weird, and Russ is just a very phony. I just don't believe that's him. I don't believe the person he shows us is who he is at all. He could have heads in his freezer. He's that kind of weird.
Yeah.
Psycho weird. Like you put the fork on the wrong side of the plate, the axe murders you. That kind of stuff. A.J. Dillon on the trade block. Nobody's going to want A.J. Dillon.
There's real running backs out there.
Nobody's even going to give us a day 3 pick for A.J. Dillon. Titans might trade DeAndre Hopkins, too. They're just packing it in. They lost Ryan Tannehill, and that was enough.
Was that the breaking point? Was that the fucking straw?
If you can't afford to lose,
get the fuck out of here.
Tannehill, you're in big trouble. We got an 800-pound gator killed in Texas. You got a gator down there.
Yikes.
Young hunter in Texas bagged the largest alligator ever certified in the state. 800 pounds, 14 feet, 3 inches long. That's a dinosaur.
Not to trump your story here with the sports deal, but NCAA investigate. Just scrolled across the bottom. NCAA investigating Michigan amid sign stealing allegations.
That might
Harbaugh
such a
again. Harbaugh can't stay out of it.
that might explain
This
why
is a
they're
witch hunt. I don't even like Michigan, but they're investigating
Harbaugh needs to
pretending
just go to-
scouts.
Harbaugh needs to go to Chicago. Just go there.
He
I want to see
probably
him all
will.
the time.
That'd be perfect. He'd
He
straight.
probably will. This is so dumb. The NCAA is again, I'm not even a Michigan fan, but when you look into this, what they're worried about him doing, you can't send a scout in person to watch another team's game. High schools do that. What are you talking about? How do you even police that? How do you pick the one person out of everybody that's doing it, and is Jim Harbaugh after you couldn't get him pinched on the previous violation? Come on.
Yeah, what we do. Cameras are small nowadays. You can't get away with this.
I think, I mean, how long before someone with some sort of authority steps in and rules the NCAA ineffective and takes away any kind of what last little shin kicking they have left? I mean, what a crap organization. What are you doing in October at the old NCAA? What do you? I mean, you're investigating sign stealing from Michigan. Come on, man.
Yeah.
Again, much like the Sasquatch permits we're hawking here in the Sooner State, I think it's garbage and a waste of your time.
Yeah, I mean, how many gumshoes do they have following around Michigan's yes men that are going over to Nebraska or wherever?
Yeah.
I don't know.
What a deal.
Simone Biles. Back to sports for a bit. Simone Biles just keeps setting records. Known Packers fan, Simone Biles, that is. She's gone through a lot in the past few years. She had the twisties. I don't know, forgot how to spin around or something like that. But she is now
clinically named the twisties.
The twisties. That's what doctors call it. Yeah. That's what somebody with a medical degree refers to it as. She just won her 8th world championship, which moves her past Alfred Yakum. Ah, yes, Alfred Yakum. Everybody knows him, who won between 1925 and 1933. Next up is the Paris Olympics, if France still exists. She now has 34 medals across World Championships and Olympics, making her the most decorated gymnast ever, male or female. She has also surpassed Belarusian Vitaly Sherbo's record of 33 medals at Olympics and World Championships. Yeah, Vitaly knocked off the pedestal that we all knew he was on. Speaking of Olympics, should we add flag football to the Olympic events? I say no. 5 sports, including cricket and flag football, proposed for inclusion in the 2028 Los Angeles Olympics. That's if Los Angeles still exists in 2028. They were approved by the International Olympic Committee, leaving them with one last hurdle to seal their Olympic spots. Organizers of the LA 2028 Games said this week they wanted cricket, flag football, lacrosse, squash, and baseball, softball to the event. What is squash?
It's a rich man's racquetball.
Okay.
A little less bounce in the ball.
It's racquetball, but you play it on horses.
Yeah, and you talk about what Ivy League school you went to.
Yes.
Jerk off in a mirror.
I don't think flag football is an Olympic event. I mean, everybody gets medals, even like the left guard who did nothing, who sucked. He gets a gold medal because the running back was good. I don't like it.
I think this is a long play to get women to play football.
Yeah, they are really pushing the flag football leagues. They say they have tens of thousands of participants. I've never seen any.
I think this will be a lot like pickleball, and it'll be played by all the not old people. Pickleball will be played by old people. I don't see that blowing up. I'm sorry. It's too goddamn annoying. Communities hate it. it's not that fun, I'll be honest. And then with flag football, I mean, who wants to sign up to run around and not hit somebody? Just play basketball.
Yeah. Cricket, I mean, those games go for literally 3 days. I don't know if there's even time to have cricket in the Olympics. Kevin Garnett starting a 3-man street team league. His sports venture arm, Big Ticket Sports, is partnering with Pro League Network. Never heard of it? The street, spelled with 2 3s instead of E's, will take place over 4 weeks, featuring men's, women's, and co-eds. Big Ticket Sports also owns and operates Hoop It Up, which is another grassroots basketball tour. So they're sort of melding the two together, and we're going to play 3-on-3 in like half courts in the hood, I think. It's pretty cool. He's going city to city with it. I have all the details, but it does look awesome. Didn't they just launch another one? There was like a 3 league, something like that. Sort of didn't take off. It's raining spiders in California. That's not our problem, though. Federal customs agents caught a lady in a Minnesota airport with giraffe poop. She said she was going to make necklaces out of it. That's a weird individual. She has already done this with moose poop, and she declared a small box of feces when she was selected to have her belongings inspected upon arrival. And big box of giraffe shit. So those people exist.
Okay.
New York was left off the top 10 food cities list, which I think is hilarious. Cities are rated based on affordability, diversity, accessibility, and quality. The top 10 are Seattle, Austin, Vegas, which has always been number 1, San Diego, Tampa, San Francisco, Miami, San Francisco, Portland, and Orlando. Portland. What is even? I mean, Portland is a lawless place. I can't imagine they even have restaurants anymore.
Sounds rigged.
Voodoo Donuts. That's all they got.
Portland is top 10 in murder rate. I don't know if they're top 10 in any kind of food. What else we got? We got a Florida road rage machete attack. Man has been arrested in Florida after being captured on video swinging a machete during what police described as a road rage incident. Luis Ruiz Herrera was taken into custody on Monday after the attack that unfolded at an intersection of Northwest 42 Avenue, 36th Street. According to Miami Springs Police Department, he was armed with a machete, exited his vehicle, and approached the victim, who was riding on a motor scooter. Yikes! You don't even have a car to protect you. This guy's coming with a machete and a motor scooter. That's not a lot of acceleration either. You might not be getting away. Top party colleges in America. I don't know what this is. I don't know what happened. Arizona State has been the undisputed champion for years, and Wisconsin was always in the mix. The top 5 now are 5 is Syracuse, 4 is Alabama, 3 is Tulane, 2 is Florida State, and 1 University of California, Santa Barbara. The Banana Slugs. I call bullshit on that.
Yeah, I don't know.
Wisconsin,
I mean, if you don't, I mean, Georgia's always a big party school. They're not even on the list. You kidding me? Tulane, okay.
Tulane.
Yeah, I don't see it.
No. San Diego State is 17th. Colorado is 19th behind Iowa. That's just not accurate. Colorado is a panacea of co-ed vaginas. It's always good when you get to use panacea. Holy shit.
Co-ed what? What did you say, Eric?
Panacea of co-ed vagina.
Co-ed vagina? It is 2023, I guess. Can go either way.
Yep. It could be a Zer. You don't know. Maybe they just declare that they have one. That's the same as having one, scientifically, I'm told. So.
Hey, what do you think about Doug Peterson? You like him, Coach?
For the Jags? Yeah. Yeah, I do. I kind of thought he got a bum deal in Philly.
Yeah, no, you're right.
I like him for the Jags, and I think that that's a perfect team for him because there's not too high of expectations, but he's free to do a lot of things creatively that he is good at doing. And because of that, I do think the Jags have a high upside going forward. I like the Jags. I don't love them this year, but I do like them.
I think Trevor Lawrence is going to start growing on some people. I think when he got drafted, isn't that, and he went down to Jacksonville, that was the same year that Brady went to Tampa. So it really overshadowed in Trevor Lawrence.
And Urban Meyer screwed with him his first year.
Yeah. The whole Urban
too.
Meyer thing was
a debacle
of bad decisions, but that with what they've got going now, I think they've got it going in the right way. And the one thing cool I like about their offense is they have some real weapons, but they don't ride them like Seabiscuit. They kind of spread it around a little bit, which I think is pretty good by design. And not only that, but it keeps keeps from a bell cow situation where you got just one dude. At the end is really solid.
14-3. ETN just scored again. ETN just scored 14-3 now.
Yeah,
that kid is playing his ass off this year.
He is. He just made the Saints look dumb. He's pretty fast. I didn't realize how fast he was.
All fantasy bros thought Tank Bigsby was going to come in and take the goal line work, take the receiving work. No,
I honestly thought that he was going to have a bigger role myself. I really was pretty high on that, but it's early in his career, and it usually takes a guy a year to get adapted and kind of find his way. They think something about him because he's still around. So,
yeah, I think that was maybe the boost, motivation that you needed. Like, hey, this kid might take my fucking job.
They need him to do that much. They can allow him just to start to get a feel for the offense because Ednine's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have my doubts about him. What's wrong?
I mean, what did they went out and got what, Ridley?
Yeah.
They've got some dudes.
Yeah,
and they're young. They're relatively young. You guys will remember a couple
ball
years
all over the place tonight.
You guys will remember a couple years back they had a whale of a defense. And then it kind of went away. I was kind of expecting them to establish themselves as an AFC powerhouse, and then that kind of faded, and they're just now kind of climbing back into the mix. But there's a lot of middle of the road teams in the AFC. When you look down the AFC, like we talked about, a lot of middle of the road, a lot of mediocrity. So, I mean, and I guess the same could be said for the NFC too. I mean, if we want to tiptoe through the tulips of that little deal, I mean, we've got the world beaters in Washington, the Giants, Carolina, Chicago. I mean, those are all hot garbage, all of them. They should combine together and see if they can compete.
Put a squad together, huh?
Yeah,
create a super team.
Call each other and make a super goof troop or something. See what they could do.
No, but to your point, the AFC is not as great as people thought.
No,
and I think the Jaguars are a good example of that. We're all kind of waiting for Trevor Lawrence to be the next level talent, the Joe Burrow-esque, the whoever. And to be honest, he hasn't quite got there. I think certainly not a bust, not at all. But he's not as good as I thought he was going to be. Now, is that because his first year he's a little bit, he's starting a year behind? I don't know what it is, but he's not lighting the world up like people thought. People were talking about him the way they're talking about Caleb Wilson, but more because he had won. He had slayed the dragon in Alabama. He's starting senior high school football as an 8th grader. But he seemed to have hit a ceiling. And I think there's a couple AFC teams.
Andrew Luck is what they told us.
Yeah. So, and he's bigger, so I'm waiting. I'm rooting for the guy. I like him. He's a good dude, but he's not lighting the world up. He's you watch him play, and it's okay. It's good, but it's not the best thing since Andrew Luck.
Oh, Burrow. Yeah. I mean, when Burrow started out, I mean, everybody really bought into the fact that Burrow was going to be the next huge thing, and he could have been, but the dadgum injuries just pile up on him. And this year, like I said, you got something else going on down there, and nobody really knows. And then they'll come out at the end of the season and say, well, Burrow had a herniated disc or something. There'll be something to it. So
they've been saying his calf, but and you know what? If anybody deserves it, benefit of the doubt, it's him. But if he's going out there slinging mediocrity for the first 5 weeks of the season, maybe take one of those weeks off and get right. Maybe one or two.
Yeah.
That's my philosophy.
Well, and to me, I mean, that's part of the organization going, man, what, somebody's got to grab a hold of that and say, man, let's get this guy healthy. He's our franchise guy. And maybe we make a run at the end of the season. 4 weeks, it turns into 8 weeks. If you get 100%, it's a lot better than 50%. And we split the games down the stretch. I mean, let's not forget that you get in a tournament at the end of the year where one win and your season's over. It's when you want to be playing your best. I mean, it's a marathon, and these guys that are hurt, you want to make sure that they're good to go towards the end. I don't know. As I look at this, I mean, what are we in week? What week is this? 8, 7? Week 7?
7.
So we're in week 7. So we're about not quite the midway point, which the NFL has stretched this out in an effort to make as much money for Goodell as possible. They've made more games, which is
18
great.
Is on the way.
Yeah, 18 is going to happen. They're going to eliminate a preseason and make 18. But I kind of think, and I wonder if, I mean, ultimately, when you start having guys, and they haven't yet, but you talk about a load management situation in the NFL. I mean, and if there was ever a league that I could actually look at and go, I get it, it would be the NFL, because, man, I mean, these are physical games. There's a reason they only play once a week.
I think the way to do it is make it 18 games. I think it was smart. They probably knew when they gave us 17 that we would be begging for the symmetry of 18 games. We would bring that on ourselves. But I think you do 18 and you have 2 bye weeks. Then everybody stays healthy.
Yeah, it'd be interesting. I can think of 3 quarterbacks right now that are injured, 3 starting quarterbacks that aren't going to play this weekend. So it's like you're not even getting the best product out there.
No.
And honestly,
Boyer the Destroyer out there. We might have C.J. Beathard out there. Oh no, he was going to play tonight.
Well, you got Secret Bagent Man starting in Chicago.
Yep.
Wow. I honestly think
they call it teabag.
I honestly think that they don't care. They don't care that you get Billy. I only had one hit that's been sacking groceries in the off season. They don't care about that. What they care about is you're going to tune in to, NFL Network, and you're going to watch these turds play on a Thursday because they're scheduled to play on a Thursday, and that's the only game on. And then you're going to tune in during the week because your fantasy football team says you have to. I mean,
yeah, and then you got, Collinsworth saying, "Oh, we got a great story for you tonight. The starting quarterback was an Uber driver a week ago.
Yeah.
And now he's on the field." It's like, that's not a great story. That's a shit story. I don't want to see this.
No one wants to see a guy try out. That's why no one watches preseason football. I mean, that's
right?
why.
And that's why no one watches the XFL or the USFL.
That's exactly right. No one wants to watch tryouts. They want to watch the best players on the field at the time, and they want to watch them lock it up and go at it. It just, there's a little bit of saturation, I think, in the product, but it's one of those things. It's the American way. More. And I think that they'll have it until somebody tells them either one, we're not doing this, or two, you start having the ratings fall off, which the NFL is really far from on any front. I mean, it's it's hotter than it's ever been right now.
Yeah.
And
yeah, but are you going to tune in to Bears Raiders when both of them are playing backup quarterbacks? Absolutely not. And they're going to get bumped. No one's going to be betting on that.
I would agree, except for the fact of, and the most genius thing the NFL ever did was about 10 or 15 years ago, they started, they started endorsing instead of shunning the fantasy football situation, because it literally is buttering their own bread.
Yeah.
Because you have people that will watch these garbage teams.
Yeah. Somebody's starting DJ Moore. They're going to watch Teabag throw him 3-4 targets.
Who's the Raiders backup anyway?
A lot more people.
Rich Gannon.
Playoff Rich.
Let me tell you, there was about a 4-year stretch right there where Rich Gannon was the tits.
He was. He was.
Let's wrap it up. I got things to do tonight.
There's nowhere to go from there. Thank you, everyone, for listening. We appreciate all the downloads, reviews, tweets, all those things. Make sure you go to PatriotSportsNow.com. See all our latest goings on at PSR and TWK. Do that already. Until next time, be good to each other. Chris, turn on the outro music.
You've been listening to Patriot Sports Radio. If you're sick of all the national talking heads and biases of mainstream sports media, like we are, this show is for you. We hope you enjoyed it. Make sure to like, rate, and review. And we'll be back soon. For more content and merch, hit up www.patriotsportsnow.com. Find us on Twitter at PatriotsPod, on Instagram and Facebook at Patriot Sports Now, and on Getter, Rumble, and YouTube at Patriot Sports. Take care, and we'll see you next time.